Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if you are Sean Diddy Combs, oh, things have just gotten so bad for you. Y'all, the government is coming out swinging. They have issued another letter. They have said also that you can't trust this mofo. He is crazy. Sean Diddy Combs had contraband in his cell, but the contraband wasn't just notes. They're saying that they found perhaps maybe a cell phone, notebook, illegal electronic device, and the streets are saying they might have found some Tucci. I'm just saying the MDC is rife with people being able to move narcotics through. They commonly show up in drug tests, in screenings. Now, what is the significance of that? Y'all, sit down. So much has happened, but we got to talk because, oh, things are looking bad for Diddy. He tried it, but guess what? The prosecution is pushing back. Now, just to let you guys know, all of this is going through. The government is demanding to know who is the MDC raiding officer. The MDC, of course, is Sean Diddy Combs jail. Who was the person that authorized it? They said it's somebody in Virginia, out of this, that, and the third. The significance of this is the fact that the MDC, they regularly find weapons and also rugs in there. Um, and it makes it so that they have to do regular prison raids. Raids happen all the time in MDC. I think when Sean Diddy Combs, why am I calling him Sean Diddy Combs? I think when Diddy actually got in there, there had been up to, I think, 6 raids that year because they're always trying to figure out, okay, how is this getting in? Who's letting this happen? Are the guards involved? We need to clean this up. Diddy is saying that this raid would never should have taken place, and the only reason they raided the place is because Diddy was staying there. The prosecution is looking at Diddy saying, "Have you lost your what is not clicking? Like, are you losing it? Are you okay? Guards, check yourself for Tucci." That's what's going on. But let me read you the latest letter, okay? And then after I read you the latest letter, it's gonna be really quick. We're gonna get into exactly what this means because, oh, this is not good for Diddy. Okay, so the letter says, Dear Judge, the government respectfully submits the attached declarations in response to the January 3rd order and further support of its opposition to the defendant's motion for a hearing and other relief. The government has signed a million affidavits saying, we did not plan the MDC raid. No, we didn't leak this to the news. No, we didn't do this. And no, we didn't do that. At the request of the Bureau of Prisons, the government respectfully seeks to file a declaration attached to Exhibit B under the sill. Based on communication with counsel from the BLP, the government understands that the information contained therein reveals sensitive law enforcement techniques and reveals the identity of an employee involved in the ongoing BOP led investigation. All right? They also said, finally, with respect to Exhibit A, the prosecution team declaration. The government provides information requested by the court, but in doing so does not waive any applicable privileges, including law enforcement privilege and deliberation process privilege. Woo! Now, why is this so good? Baby, let's get into this because I will say one thing. The prosecution showed up. The prosecution clocked in, and we are here to see it. All right, let's go. Okay, so where do we start? Even though Diddy thought he did his big one, there's a few things that the government shot down and that the government also put on the table. And Diddy's team is scrambling. They are terrified because they thought they had the government on the ropes. I don't know if they truly believe the government has no proof or if they're just saying that so Diddy feels better. Okay, so let me take you on the overview and then we'll get into nitty gritty, right? They are saying that Diddy 100% was involved in witness intimidation and he used coded language. Okay. He had a bunch of unauthorized communication methods. You know, the BLP raid, right? His attempts to discredit a witness, namely witness one, participation in the MDA suite, the government's coordination in handling that. But here's the thing, and I'm going to talk about that witness intimidation because that's a lot. But let me get to the point because I know that's what y'all came here for. Okay. The government does not have a fear of exposure like Diddy's team assumed. This clearly says that they understand Diddy's tactics and they understand that they are trying to inch and inch and inch and get more and more and more so they can discredit the government. But not only that, uh, Diddy's worried about what they found when they did that raid. Diddy doesn't remember what was written in his cell. Because how else could you explain this, right? The government is being cautious that revealing too much about their methods, their surveillance techniques, or investigative processes could compromise ongoing or their future investigations into Diddy and their co defendants. All right? Now, get this. For example, if Diddy's legal team actually gained insight into how his communications were monitored, they could potentially develop strategies to exploit these gaps in the future cases, right? Also, if this case sets a precedent for courts requiring disclosure of certain sensitive materials, like their covert investigation, it could undermine law enforcement's ability to keep specific tactics confidential in other cases. Also, the deliberate process privilege they speak of in that letter, it allows the government to protect internal discussions that led to their strategies in prosecuting Sean Diddy Combs. Now, if you guys don't know, Diddy's team has been hooting and hollering, saying, "We deserve this information." They're literally saying, "Well, how'd you know we were guilty?" Right? And just like, mofo, the question isn't how we knew, it's a question of, are you guilty? The nerve. All right? This ensures that the government can argue their case without exposing vulnerabilities in their reasoning, which the defense could exploit to undermine the prosecution. Again, their whole defense is, how'd you know we were guilty? We just did, but they want them to explain. So when they explain, that becomes the case. Oh, well, Your Honor, they just made an assumption. Okay, but even though we made an assumption, the assumption was right. Guards, take Diddy's phone away again. He texted Mark Agnifilio too much because every single time we get these letters, Diddy is on that burner phone going crazy, Twitter fingers, and then Mark Agnifilio is filing a million motions that don't make any sense, right? Now, here's the thing. Diddy is also praying that he can either get a reversal or he can challenge on appeal. But get this, by refusing to waive privileges, the prosecution is minimizing the chance that Diddy's defense team could later argue that disclosures during trial violated his rights or improperly influenced the case. The government is trying its best to prevent its actions from being used as grounds for appeals or claims of misconduct. Remember how I keep telling you, they want to put the government on trial. Diddy is ridiculous. Imagine this mofo that got the whole world saying he guilty, and you want to put the federal government on trial? How dare you think I'm a sex trafficker? What makes you think? It's right there in the indictment. But what made you think that? It's right there in the indictment. But what made you even look into me being a sex trafficker? You have an ex-girlfriend named Cassie. They filed a criminal complaint anyway, but they want to put that all on trial. Now, listen, this is also an astute courtroom strategy because keeping privileged information intact ensures the government maintains an advantage in the trial. They control what information is presented to the court while protecting sensitive areas that could complicate their case. All right. Now, what is the contraband? Well, that they found in the Bureau of Prison suite, cell phones, perhaps electronic devices. Okay. This is why they're saying they're not only is he using prisoners' minutes, but also to text me. That was such a big deal because he was sending emails off of a burner phone. This is what is being alleged, okay? Nobody knows this is true. This is actually a guess. I'm guessing right now, right? But it would make sense, and that's why the Bureau of Prisons is having so much trouble actually finding out who he is emailing. Because if you email off of the prison's computer, they have a list of everything you emailed and everything you said, right? Now, we all know there's notes and plans. The only problem is Diddy might have been on that Tucci, right? That Tucci that's circling around the MDC, because they have a problem with that there. And he actually doesn't know what his notes or plans were. Okay. It highlights that papers and an address book were seized, which allegedly contained plans to discredit witnesses and gather damaging information on others. This is crucial evidence for showing of Diddy's ill intent and also his misconduct. All right. Now, drugs are a common type of contraband found in prison settings. If drugs were found, it could further demonstrate that Diddy just basically doesn't care about the law or prison regulations, adding weight to the prosecution's case. Now, we don't know if any weapons were found. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Did Diddy look like he knows how to use that blicky when things get sticky? I'm just saying. Again, the broader thing that the government is trying to highlight is rather than putting themselves on jail, on trial, they're saying, yo, Diddy was the one in possession of contraband, especially items intended for nefarious purposes, discrediting witnesses or even threatening others, right? This damages his character and strengthens the government's portrayal of him as manipulative, untrustworthy, and a whole slew of other things. Okay? Now, again, the government also does not want to give anything because they are not going to give defense an inch to play around in. They are determined to literally, they're not going to let defense undermine the public trust. Okay? Transparency around law enforcement actions, you got to remember, are a double edged sword. While it ensures accountability, revealing too much could lead the public to public criticism of their methods or accusations of misconduct, particularly because Diddy's team seems to be spinning that. Again, they know how the government, to a certain extent, makes the bread. And the fact that Diddy is a loaf of carrot cake with no cream cheese icing, they still want to say, well, why'd you bake it like that? What happened? What happened? Also, there are security risks. It could endanger law enforcement personnel or witnesses that they're concerned about involved in the case. Again, the government's actions are strong evidence that they have a lot and Diddy is trying to deliberately discredit them, right? The significance of these privileges cannot be underscored, right? And Diddy's alleged misconduct. Again, with this letter, it looks like the government is saying, oh, hell no. Hell no. Do you know what's going to happen? Do you know what's going to happen? We're not going on trial. Diddy's the one on trial. We will not be entertaining any more of your foolery anymore. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.